Good morning again to all of you. We are ready to begin our ceremony. Please silence your electronic devices, and if you're able, please stand for our processional.
Please remain standing for the invocation led by Sarah Gerwig, Professor of Law and Director of Experiential Learning.
Let us pause in gratitude and reflection. Creator of all wisdom and justice, source of all understanding, be with us as we gather today to honor the journey of these graduates and their loved ones. We give thanks for the strength that has carried them through these challenges and the growth of the last 3 years, for the minds sharpened by study and the hearts awakened by compassion. As we mark this moment of achievement, may we be mindful of the purpose behind the pursuit, the call to serve, to advocate, to uphold fairness, and to speak truth in the face of injustice. May humility walk beside confidence and courage rise in the presence of doubt. Let this ceremony not only celebrate academic accomplishment, but also recommit us to the higher calling of law, to bring light where there is confusion, peace where there is conflict, and dignity to every life we touch. May each person here be filled with gratitude, hope, and a deep sense of connection to the greater good. Amen.
Please be seated. On behalf of more than 9,000 students, 1,500 members of our faculty and staff, and nearly 100,000 living graduates of the university, I am pleased to welcome you to commencement for Mercer University's Walter F. George School of Law. Established in 1873, our law school was one of the first law schools in the South. It has produced generations of leaders, including 12 governors, 4 United States senators, scores of members of Congress and judges, and thousands of outstanding lawyers making a positive difference in the lives of their clients and their communities. We are extremely proud of the legacy of this School of Law. Graduation is a defining event in the life of each student who's graduating today. Each of these students have crossed new thresholds of understanding and experience, explored new intellectual terrain, and envisioned new prospects for their lives and careers. We are proud of each of these graduates. This event is also a tribute to all of you who have family and friends graduating today. Your resolve, your patience, and your encouragement have enabled them to make this journey. So in addition to their gratitude, I want to convey the university's gratitude for your persistent support of them. I would also remind all of us that the profession of law is a high calling. It requires that we combine the abilities of mind with the habits of character. This high calling warrants our respect. Let graduation hearten us to the value of the power of reason, to act with principled judgment and respect, and relate to one another with compassion and integrity. Karen Snedden, Dean of the School of Law, will now bring greetings on behalf of the school.
Welcome to the Mercer University School of Law commencement for the class of 2025. Graduates, today is the culmination of an achievement that has been years in the making. This journey did not begin with your acceptance letter to the law school. This journey began where you were called to join the legal profession. Throughout the journey to law school and through law school, you have shown dedication and commitment. You have shown resilience and grit as you gained the knowledge, skills, and values necessary to become a member of the legal profession. Your experiences will inform your path forward as you become part of our over 150-year legacy of serving the needs of clients, promoting the rule of law, and advancing justice. As an initial matter, I'd like to recognize those who share the stage with me today, and please hold your applause until I introduce them all to you. To your left, our Student Bar President, Michaela Michelle Manley, Professor of Law and Director of Experiential Education, Sarah Gerwig, who offered our invocation and who will offer our benediction, Law School Assistant Dean of Students, Jeannie Zipperer, and to your right, Mercer University President, Bill Underwood, our commencement speaker, Vernon Strickland, who I will be more formally introducing in a few moments, and Mercer University Executive Vice President and Interim Provost, Penny Elkins. Please join me in thanking our program participants. Although today is a day for the graduates, it is also a day to recognize all who have been with the graduates on their journey. I'd like to ask the loved ones of our graduates to stand so that we can share our appreciation for you. So family members, friends, and supporters, please stand so we can recognize you. We know you have been with them through the joys and frustrations that have been the 3 years of law school, and we have appreciated that you've encouraged them to come back even after they've had some tough days at the School of Law. In addition to those on the stage and in the audience who has encouraged your goals by providing support and encouragement, the Mercer Law School staff and faculty have also been with you along these last 3 years. I'd ask the law school staff and faculty to stand and accept our appreciation for their commitment to your success. Their wise counsel, dedicated teaching have guided your professional development both in and out of the classroom. Now, to continue with our celebration, I am delighted to introduce our commencement speaker. A commencement speaker has a very challenging task. They must speak authentically about their own experiences, make meaningful connections with each of the graduates, and provide inspiration for all in attendance in approximately 15 minutes or less. If there is a speaker who is up to that challenge and more, it is our distinguished commencement speaker, Vernon Strickland. Vernon Strickland exemplifies what it means to be a Mercer lawyer. He is a talented, dedicated, hardworking professional who draws upon his talents to serve, to lead, and to inspire. He has faced extraordinary challenges and overcome profound losses to pursue educational and professional experiences that have equipped him to make a difference in the lives of individuals, institutions, and entire communities. He actively seeks these opportunities, and I want to highlight just a few things from his biography that's in the commencement booklet. He began his undergraduate studies at Georgia Tech studying textile engineering, and as one would, because that seems like you might have a lot of time on your hands, he decided to be a walk-on at the Georgia Tech football team. During his time, he earned the position of team captain. Following graduation, he played with the New York Giants, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Berlin Thunder. Following his career as a professional athlete, he returned to his love of engineering and became an accomplished engineer at Panasonic Automotive. At this point, as one would, Vernon decided that he wanted to make a difference in another way, and he came to Mercer University School of Law, where he graduated in 2006. He practiced law with Holland & Knight, LLP, in the areas of complex litigation, intellectual property, and sports and entertainment law. He is now a managing partner at a firm he has co-founded that focuses on civil litigation, intellectual property, and business law. He is a leader in the community. He is a person who welcomes the voices of others so that he can amplify them and he can lift them up. We are fortunate not only to have Vernon here today, but also several members of his family who are here in attendance, and I hope that you will join me now in welcoming to the podium our distinguished commencement speaker, Vernon Strickland.
Good morning. I think I'm going to ask for a little bit of leeway on the 15 minutes, maybe about 16 and a half minutes, if that's okay, if it's good. If not, I'll sit down right at 15 minutes. But good morning, Mercer Law Class of 2025, families, friends, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests. To the 141 soon-to-be graduates seated before me, today is your day. You've made it, and not by accident. You hail from across the country, Alaska to Puerto Rico, Georgia to the Virgin Islands. You studied everything from political science to engineering. You've persevered through pandemics, final exams, family obligations, and clerkships. You've restarted student organizations like the Mercer Association for Veteran Students and recreated new organizations such as the Sports and Entertainment Law Society, to which I was invited along with my good neighbor and friend to speak to you a couple of years ago. You've championed wellness initiatives and led food drives that have helped feed thousands. You've fallen in love, formed lifelong friendships, and by all accounts have transformed the law school. And here's something remarkable that I just realized. I said more than half of you came straight from undergrad studies, which means that more than half of you were born after January 1, 2000, after the big Y2K scare that many of us were not sure if we would have another tomorrow, right? And you are the first law class of millennials, of this new generation, digital natives, change agents, and future attorneys. You're defined not by the obstacles you face, but by the grace, strength, and service with which you met them. You're a class of rebirth, of rebuilding, of resolve, and I salute you. But let's be honest, nobody gets here to this stage alone. So before we go any further, I want to take a moment, as Dean Snett has also done, to think of those who helped get us here. Grandparents, parents, and as we say in my neck of the woods, mama and them, grandmama and them, siblings, professors, mentors, spouses, children, and yes, friends and fellow classmates. Maybe some are in this arena, maybe some are watching from afar, and maybe some are no longer with us, but they live in your hearts. So let's take a 5-second pause to reflect on those. Now, if you will indulge me, I want to tell you my story, because the truth is, 19 years ago when we had our law school graduation from Mercer Law School, I did not walk across the stage with the feelings that I thought I would have. I wasn't full of pride or joy or accomplishment. Instead, I was a complete opposite. I was angry. I was disappointed. I was bitter. Why? Because less than 24 hours before the graduation, at our rehearsal, I found out that I was not graduating with honors. I had expected to graduate magna cum laude, or at least cum laude. And before the final semester began, I was assured that my spot was secure, that there were at least 8 students between me and the cutoff, if I recall correctly. But when I arrived at the graduation rehearsal and someone gave me the graduation program, there was no distinction beside my name of honor graduate or honor academic graduate. So I asked one of the staff, I said, hey, I think there's got to be a typographical mistake here. Something's wrong. And no one had an explanation for me. So as soon as the rehearsal was over, I drove back to the law school, sprinted to the registrar's office. As I walked to the registrar's office, the registrar was standing at a file cabinet, and she had this big piece of paper, and she had a sponge in her hand, and she was rubbing something out. And I startled her when I walked over, and she looked at me straight in the eye. She says, I'm sorry, Vernon. I'm sorry. What she had was my diploma, and she had a sponge. She was literally blotting out the words cum laude from my diploma with the sponge. And she explained that I would be provided a diploma, that diploma with the blotted out diploma at my graduation, and then 2 weeks later, I would receive another diploma in the mail. I was stunned. I was furious. The registrar had told me before the semester began that I was in the clear. that I didn't need to pad my GPA with what at the time were uncurved, easy A courses that the law school offered that many of my classmates decided to take advantage of. And I trusted that assessment, but a few last-minute academic overachievers had pushed me just outside of the cutoff, and it wrecked me. I was mad at the registrar. I was mad at myself for not hedging my bets. I was mad at the last semester grading system. I was mad that I had spent so much time giving to the law school, serving on student organizations, mentoring, volunteering, when I could have been studying. Like my good friend who graduated number 2 in our class. He was a single guy. We're about the same age, non-traditional student, but every week and every weekend he spent his time catching up on studying. I was like, man, I was envious of him. And I was also carrying pain from a rough patch in my personal life, including marriage counseling and emotional burnout. So when they called my name at the graduation to receive the Dean's Distinguished Service Award, an incredible honor, I sat in my seat and stewed. I didn't want to stand. I didn't feel honored. I felt defeated. And I only stood when I saw my mother's face in the distance from across the arena, and she gave me that look. You know the one I'm talking about. I said, boy, I've driven all the way down here from Noonan. Don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass me in front of all these folks. And so I stood. My mom is here today again, I think for the first time since that graduation ceremony. Thank you. But let me give you a fuller picture, because that disappointment, just like every disappointment in my life, wasn't the end of the story. It was just a part of it. And as I've grown to mature and understand, it was a very beautiful part of my story. You see, I came to Mercer Law with a chip on my shoulder. In high school, I was the only member of my school's gifted honors program that I had been a part of since 5th grade who did not graduate with honors. Part of that was due in part because my 9th grade year, I spent battling acute myeloid leukemia. 5 days after my 14th birthday, I was given a prognosis of less than 15% chance of survival. Fortunately, no one told me that till about a year into my treatments when I was having a pity party and getting tired of all the treatments. They said, look, they only gave you 15% chance of survival. You made it this far. Suck it up and keep going. I survived by the grace of God and by the care of doctors and nurses at Eggleston Children's Hospital and the Ronald McDonald Clinic in Atlanta, Georgia, and by the strength of a community in Noonan, Georgia and Coweta County that lifted me up. Then in the 11th grade, my world shattered again. My 9-year-old sister, Tashana Vernay Strickland, was tragically killed in a car accident. I was a lone driver of that car. That trauma could have destroyed me, but I kept going. I got into Georgia Tech, walked onto the football team as a 6th-string weak side linebacker. That means there were, 4 of the guys in front of me on the depth chart. And eventually I became a team captain. And though I never started a game on the defensive or offensive side of the ball, I earned my degree in textile engineering, and then I had an opportunity to play with my all-time favorite sports franchise, the San Francisco 49ers, as well as the New York Football Giants and also the Berlin Thunder of the NFL Europe League. Following my brief stint as a journeyman football player, I went to work as an engineer, and then I decided to go to law school. And I decided to go to law school not for prestige, but for redemption for me. And so when I came to Mercer, I wanted to prove something to others, yes, but mostly to myself, that I could rewrite my story, that I could close a loop. And when I fell short of those honors in 2006, it felt like history was repeating itself. I felt like a failure. And when that second diploma arrived in the mail a couple weeks later, I glanced at that tube and just sat on my desk for about 24 hours, and then I opened it just to make sure there wasn't a note in it that said, Vernon, we actually made a mistake. The cum laude is on here. And it was not in there. It was not. So I opened it, and I stuffed the thing back in there, and I left this tube sitting on my desk for about 3 years. Never opened it, never decided to frame my diploma. But what I couldn't see then, and what I hope you can see now, is that God doesn't waste any part of your story. The Mercer Law School diploma, cum laude or not, opened every door I ever dreamed of walking through. Big law, in-house secondment with Fortune 50 companies, handling cases internationally and nationally, and then starting our own firm along with some amazing friends and outstanding lawyers. Teaching, serving, leading. I have lived, and I am living every page of the story that I came here hoping to write. And not because I graduated with honors, but because I'm a Mercer lawyer. So I have 3 callings, or 3 challenges to give you, class of 2025. First call is a purpose and service. You know, if there's any phrase that stuck with me through law school, and I know there are many, you know, you're into law school and all of a sudden there's this phrase that you get, it's like, man, that's a really cool phrase. I'm gonna remember that one. For me, it was this phrase that sounded resolute, notable, and yes, it was beautifully lawyerly. It was inextricably intertwined. One of the cases we were studying, I was like, inextricably intertwined. Legally, it refers to facts or claims so closely connected that one can't be decided without the other. But I offer this to you, dear friends, as not just a concept of this doctrine, but as a compass for your life ahead. I urge you to intertwine two essential principles: ownership and joy, inextricably intertwined. Ownership of your calling, not just of the practice of law, but to steward every gift you've been given. Take ownership of your time, your relationships, your work ethic, your wellness, and most of all, your why. Because as you've heard, I'm sure several times, the law is a jealous mistress. But life is an even more demanding partner. And both, yes, the law and your life, deserve your full devotion. And the second principle, joy. Joy in your work, joy in your rest, joy in your family, joy in your laughter. You will pour out yourselves for clients and for causes, for colleagues, so do not forget to refill and to replenish. Let celebration be inextricably intertwined with your striving. Let rest walk hand in hand with your ambition. Let play follow purpose. And if I could add a tagline, as we do frequently in this day and age, think about it this way: work hard, but play harder. Work hard, but love harder. Work hard, but laugh harder. Work hard, but rest harder. Work hard, but connect harder. Because when ownership and joy are bound together, you won't just succeed, you'll thrive. Second charge, 2025. As lawyers, we are called to be advocates. But more than that, we are called to be guardians. Guardians of truth, fairness, dignity, and hope. Whereas Justice Learned Hand once said, the keepers of a spirit not locked in any constitution, but alive in the hearts of men and women, the spirit of liberty and justice. And your job now is to ensure that justice is not just a word, but a reality. So what does the world need from you? It needs your minds, it needs your courage, it needs your heart, it needs your vigilance. We're in a time and a period when the independence of the legal profession is somewhat being tested, when the act of representing a client, once a sacred tenet of justice, is somewhat being politicized. When lawyers and law firms and advocates are sanctioned not for misconduct, but for taking unpopular or politically inconvenient cases. We have to be diligent. We have to make sure that we protect the foundation of our legal and justice system. My law partner, Barry DeBro, is an excellent criminal defense attorney, and he gave me a beautiful illustration, just happened a week ago yesterday. Barry decided to go into the practice of law because he was living in California. He and a group of friends were pulled over, detained, and he had this horrible experience, and he felt that he was being unfairly treated. And so he felt as though him and his friends, who were all black, the white officers in prosecution, he felt they were doing him wrong. And so he went into the practice of law to try to be an advocate for spaces like that. Well, last week he received this letter from a federal defendant attorney that he had, a federal defendant, criminal defendant that he had obtained. And this letter says, this letter from my federal client who is an admitted member of the Aryan Brotherhood, an ideology that was directly opposed to what Mr. DeBro is about. The client wrote, he says, "Man, you went the hell in yesterday. You are my damn good lawyer. I didn't expect you to turn up for me like you did. I never forget that. You are my dog for life. I'm definitely going to get some of my people to put some good reviews on your Google form. Also, when I get to prison, I'm going to reach out to get my sentencing transcripts once I hit the yard, so I'll always have them in my property while I'm incarcerated. I wish you nothing but the best, big dog. You're a good-ass lawyer." Your duty as Mercer lawyers is not to please a crowd, but to stand firm for the rule of law. Finally, the charge is your date with history. Today, make no mistakes about it, this is your date, Mercer Law Class of 2025. And in 11 weeks and 4 days exactly from today, you will have another appointment with history. They call it the bar exam. Let me be clear, this is your moment, but I want to challenge you to outdo the class of 2024, which posted the highest grade Georgia bar passage rate for Mercer Law in the last decade, and it had a 10-point increase over the class of 2023. I want to challenge you to have a 12-point increase over the class of 2023 to make your class not only remembered, but revered. For this process, this is a 10-week process, and I want you to look at it as though you're preparing to run a marathon. Use it like your life depends on it, because in many ways, your future does. Get a plan, stick to it, find accountability, push past your excuses, silence the distractions. As the Mercer professor said when we were in law school, they had encouraged us, they says, change nothing. If you're thinking about breaking up with them, wait until after the bar exam. If you're thinking about asking her out, wait until after the bar exam. If you're thinking about buying a house, wait until after the bar exam. Change nothing. And mama and them and grandmama and them, please help them protect this space. Drown out your doubts. Take every day from here forward like it's a page in the legacy that you're writing. It's not about intelligence. You've already proven that. Mercer graduates. This is about emotional resolve. The willingness to say, quote, I will not be denied. Get stirred up. And if you need some type of fuel, get angry, not scared. And not angry at anyone else, but at the idea that anything less than your best would not be acceptable. Own your preparation, own your destiny, and walk into the exam not as someone who hopes to pass, but as someone who has already decided. And now, Mercer Law Class of 2025, as I take my seat, I want to let me leave you not with just a farewell, but if I may offer a blessing. Go forth with a dream, not of comfort, but of justice and growth, not of safety, but of service, not of quiet success, but of courageous impact. Walk the streets of your communities, the halls of your courthouses, and the corners of your boardrooms with a soul on fire for righteousness and justice. Lift every voice, protect every right, speak every truth, and whether drafting deals or negotiating peace, building bridges where others build barriers. Let your careers testify that law is not just a profession, but a ministry. Let your lives proclaim that dignity and justice belong to every human being. May you do exceedingly well and exceedingly good in all of your endeavors. Congratulations, Mercer Law School Class of 2025. The world awaits you. Go make history. Thank you.
Thank you, Vernon. Over the last 20 years, I've heard approximately 80 commencement addresses, and I actually really enjoyed yours. Thanks for telling your personal story. I love the intense competitiveness on display. Thank you. Jeannie Zipper serves as Assistant Dean for Student Affairs. She will now announce the recipients of our Students Awards.
Class of 2025, you hold a special place in our hearts. You've shown us what it means to lead with compassion, to serve with humility, and to lift up others as you rise. Your dedication to justice, your kindness, and your commitment to something greater than yourselves are exactly what the world needs and exactly what defines a Mercer lawyer. We are so proud of each of you. On behalf of Dean Snedden, Associate Dean Pamela Wilkins, and the faculty and staff of Mercer School of Law, it's a pleasure to present several honors to the members of the class of 2025. 10 members of this year's graduating class have been selected for membership into the Order of Barristers, a national honor organization that recognizes excellence in trial advocacy and appellate practice. Members are to be commended for their exceptional service to the Mercer Advocacy Council and to the law school. Will the newest members of the Mercer Law's Order of Barristers please rise? It's Brian J. Boatwright, Allison Lorraine Carter, Nadine Katchak, Michaela A. Doss, Taja Michelle Ann Haywood, Mallory Nicole Mitchell, Brinson Thomas Rayleigh, Olivia Grace Salter, Mallory A. Wall, and Mark C. Willer II. Congratulations. The Brainerd Curry Honor Society is composed of students who have made valuable contributions to the intellectual fabric of the law school, have achieved academic excellence, have participated in law review or Mercer Advocacy Council, and other provided similar levels of support for the law school and the legal community. Will the candidates for the Brainerd Curry Honor Society please rise? Christina Calvert Campbell, China Anastasia Carter, Nadine Katchak, Michaela A. Doss, William Andrew Duvall, Sutton McGuire Agina, Seth Harrison Elmore, Ashley E. Hall, Francis Joseph Hargadon IV, Abigail Letts, Rachel Neal Ann Rajazak, Olivia Madison Sanders, Stanley Chase Smith, Jackson W. Spivey, Dawson Welsh, Sydney Winter, Clayton Winfield Wright. Congratulations to each of you. Well done. Today, I also have the pleasure of congratulating the members of the class of 25 who have been inducted into membership into the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society. Phi Kappa Phi is a national honor society that recognizes and promotes academic excellence in all fields of higher education and engages its community of scholars in service to others. Would the members of Phi Kappa Phi please stand to be recognized? Lily Tate Andrews, China Anastasia Carter, Abigail Letts, and Jackson W. Spivey. Well done. Finally, we are proud to recognize graduates who have completed one of our distinguished certificate programs. Mercer pioneered the nation's first certificate in advanced legal writing, research, and drafting. This rigorous program includes advanced coursework, seminar, and participation in advanced writing group. This year also marks the inaugural class who are eligible to earn the new certificate in public service. This program requires completion of specialized coursework, focused on serving the public interest and completion of a minimum of 30 pro bono hours. At this time, will all the graduates who have completed either one or both of these certificate programs please rise to be recognized? Well done, guys. Names of the Order of Barristers, Brainerd Curry Honor Society, Phi Kappa Phi, and the certificate programs in advanced legal research, legal writing, research, and drafting, the certificate program in public service can be found in your program, along with a complete list of other student awards that were presented earlier this week. I'm so very proud of everyone in the class of 2025, and I look forward to following your successes as Mercer Law School alumni. Congratulations.
Dr. Penny Elkins serves as the Executive Vice President of the university. After the untimely death of our provost, Scott Davis, Dr. Elkins is also serving as our interim provost. Dr. Elkins. She will now present the George Waldo Woodruff Award of Excellence.
Thank you, President Underwood. Good morning, everyone. It is indeed my distinct pleasure to present the 2025 George Waldo Woodruff Award of Excellence. The Woodruff Award was established in honor of the memory of George Waldo Woodruff, a distinguished businessman, proponent of education, and a very special friend of the law school. Mr. Woodruff's friendship and generosity actually made the purchase of the beautiful law school building a possibility. His bequest also to the law school ensures its stability and success for years to come. The Woodruff Award is the most prestigious award that the law student may receive. It is given to the graduating student having the highest cumulative academic average for all 3 years of law study. This student has certainly, Vernon, embraced both ownership and joy in her law school education. At this time, I ask China Anastasia Carter to join me at the podium. China Anastasia Carter, it is my great privilege to present to you the George Waldo Woodruff Award of Excellence. So excited about China, I forgot to introduce Andrew Tyler. I now present to you the Editor-in-Chief of the Mercer Law Review, Andrew Tyler Kelly, who will present the next award, the Reynold J. Kosick Excellence in Teaching Award. Tyler?
Professor James P. Fleischner, will you please join me at the podium? Professor Fleischner, please accept this plaque on behalf of the Mercer Law Review and the class of 2025 in recognition of your distinguished career and excellent teaching.
Dean Snedden will now present the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree.
Will the candidates for the Juris Doctorate degree please rise? President Underwood, I have the honor of presenting these candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor. These candidates have been recommended by the faculty of Mercer's Law School, approved by the Board of Trustees, and I now request that you confer upon them the degree of Juris Doctor.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and the Dean of the Walter F. George School of Law, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Mercer University, it is my great privilege to hereby confer upon each of you the degree Juris Doctor. Congratulations to each of you.
Graduates, I'll ask that you remain standing as I read the charge to you. As I give this charge, faculty and staff and loved ones, you can actually sit down, so just in case you're wondering. Graduates, on behalf of the faculty, the administration, and the trustees of the university, I congratulate you on your achievements that have brought you to this important time of recognition and celebration. The promise of learning neither began nor will it end with the law degree that you have earned. Learning is, after all, a lifelong endeavor. Learning will carry you into new avenues of service and professional leadership. The completion of this academic degree signals a new era of expectation and achievement in your personal and professional lives. Your work and your relationships through this educational process has grown and matured by your resolve to seek knowledge, by your willingness to think critically and to reason analytically. Our charge to you is to take up the mantle of responsibility, of learning and professional commitment with a devotion to the habits of thought and habits of character that will enable you to see this day as one of the defining moments of your life. You are here today because you recognized your talent and your potential, and because your loved ones, friends, and teachers have encouraged you to fulfill your dreams. What you have learned and the relationships that have begun here are the foundation for your continued contributions and achievements in the months and years to come. Our challenge to you today as you embark on your professional life beyond the School of Law is to face each day with the strength to be thoughtful, the grace to be compassionate, the courage to engage your work with integrity, and the regard to be respectful of others. We congratulate you on your achievements as we continue to support your progress. I now invite your loved ones, staff, and faculty to one more time join me in congratulating this graduating class of 2025. You may now all be seated, including the graduates. In just a moment, we will begin our hooding ceremony. It is what we have gathered here to witness today. Your loved one walking across the stage to be hooded and then presented with their letter commemorating this achievement. It is indeed a joyous occasion and a milestone experience. And I'm going to ask you to do something that's going to be very, very difficult. On behalf of the graduates and the university, I'm going to ask you to wait to share your enthusiasm until all of the graduates have had the chance for their name to be called. I know it's going to be very tempting to burst into applause and cheer when you hear the name of that loved one called, but I want you to refrain from your applause and cheer at that moment so the graduates have an opportunity to let the weight of this accomplishment sink in. We want to be sure that everybody has that moment where they can reflect upon all of the hard work that it has taken to get to this particular moment. Once we have hooded everyone, I promise we will have lots of opportunities for cheering and applause. I would appreciate you helping us make sure that we have this true tribute to the dedication and commitment that these graduates have earned today. Now, we get to hood our first graduate, so I will invite President Underwood to join me at the podium. Will Michaela Michelle Manley, President of the Student Bar Association, please come forward to be hooded? Michaela Michelle Manley, the Student Bar Association President for the 2024 academic year, will call the names of the graduates of our class of 2025.
Good morning. Assisting in the commencement ceremony as hooders, selected by the class of 2025, are Professors James P. Fleisner, Daisy Hurst Floyd, Timothy Floyd, and Pamela A. Wilkins. Will Professors James P. Fleisner and Pamela A. Wilkins please come forward? Will the first row of graduates please rise? Will the marshal please escort the graduates into position? As I read your name, please come forward to be hooded. Nevi Marley Amaral. Olivia Kate Amerson, cum laude. Lily Tate Andrews, magna cum laude. William Edward Bazemore, Jr. Megan Anne Marie Bellflower. Rebecca Allison Bell. Reese G. Blackley. Brian J. Boatwright, cum laude. Chloe Elizabeth Bonds, cum laude. Adelaide Bottomley, cum laude. Brian Geddes Bowden, cum laude. Ariel Wickman Bozeman. Seth Jordan Brandt. Olivia Amanda Brillinger. Lauren Nicole Brock, cum laude. Farishay Alicia Brown. Virginia Allison Leanne Calhoun, magna cum laude. Christina Calvert Campbell, magna cum laude. Natalie Andrea Campbell. Rosa Juneli Cartagena Ruiz. China Anastasia Carter, magna cum laude. Nadine Katak, magna cum laude. Anov Cohen. Marissa Lynn Deal, cum laude. Michaela A. Doss, cum laude. Miranda Lee Durden. William Andrew Duval, cum laude. Sutton McGuire Egana, magna cum laude. Seth Harrison Elmore, magna cum laude. John Marshall Forbes, magna cum laude. Saray Panache Foston. Hannah Elizabeth France. Campbell Gerard, cum laude. Olivia Claire Greenblatt. Ashley E. Hall, magna cum laude. Anna Carr Hanks, cum laude. Catherine Hare. Francis Joseph Hargadon IV, magna cum laude. Samantha Harvey. Gabrielle Hawkridge. Taja Michelle Ann Haywood, cum laude. Reese M. Holloway, cum laude. Bailey Hotard, cum laude. Ashley B. Hauser. Alexander Ross Huff. Caitlin Danielle Hunter. Emily Irvin, dual degree, Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration. Luke Daniel Jackson, cum laude, dual degree, Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration. Cameron Renee Jones. Kara Elizabeth Jones. Spencer Jordan. Ivy Elizabeth Jorgensen. Catherine Elizabeth Casimir. Andrew Tyler Kelly, cum laude. Kelly LaFleur, cum laude. Casey Georgette Lee. Abigail Letts, magna cum laude. John R. Long. Megan Lynch. Emily Manley. Kimberly Anayi Mariquin Montanez. Andrew David Martins. Justin Caleb Martin. Presley G. Marks Miller. Samuel Ian McKenzie. Tyler W. Meadows, cum laude. Addison Lauren McCready. Stephanie Michelle Mendoza Torres. Thank you, Professor Fleisner and Professor Wilkins. Will Professors Daisy Hurst Floyd and Timothy Floyd please come forward to hood the remainder of the class of 2025? Charlotte Meyer. J.B. Milligan. Mallory Nicole Mitchell. Erin Kathleen Modzaleski. Andrew D. Moody. Rich Morrison. Paige McDonald Mostert. Zachary Nagan. Elizabeth Smith Nelms, cum laude. Sean James O'Sullivan. Cameron Kenneth Obioha. Joseph Michael Oliver. Valerie Jane Palos. William Hampton Parker IV. Anjali Gunsham Patel. Jasmine Rajnikant Patel. Shivani Hamant Patel. Clara Pence. Haley Pendleton. Anna Alexandria Phillips. Caitlin Elise Phillips. Brianna Michaela Pittman, cum laude. Samuel Paul Pompeo. Brinson Thomas Rayleigh, cum laude. Benjamin D. Ranieri. Rachel Neil Ann Radajak, cum laude. Jasmine Tanzania Reeves. Leonard Hudson Reynolds. Addison I. Robinson. Caitlin Renee Rowe. Olivia Grace Salter. Olivia Madison Sanders, magna cum laude. Julian Santos. Jordan May Savage. Shane Scott Scadden. Sydney Elizabeth Shore, cum laude. Madison Suzanne Schum. Jacob Morgan Center. Josh Shin. Alexis Nicole Skavronik. Stanley Chase Smith, cum laude. Wade Joseph Smith. Zachary Smith, cum laude. Jackson W. Spivey, magna cum laude. Noah Spragle. Haley Elizabeth Askey Stafford. James Scott Stafford, cum laude. Paul William Stiganga, Jr. Thomas Stevenson. Molly Anastasia Solins, cum laude. Ava Jane Teasley. Laura Marie Tebow. Walker D. Thomas. Kirby McCall Tyner. Mallory A. Wall, cum laude. John Pierce Wareham, cum laude. Robert Henry Warren. Desiree Latia Webb. Dawson B. Welsh, magna cum laude. Mary Lindsay Wessel. Matlin Susanna Westbury. Sarah Elizabeth Whalen, cum laude. Thomas B. Wilden. Lee Wilkes. Sydney Winter, cum laude. Clayton Winfield Wright, magna cum laude. Lakeisha Young. Thank you, Professor Daisy Hurst Floyd and Professor Timothy Floyd. We have 5 graduates who have chosen to be joined by family members who are themselves graduates of Mercer Law School. I will announce the name of each of these graduates and the name of the family member who will accompany them. Allison Lorraine Cartwright, accompanied by her cousin, Joel Graham, class of 2014. David Dozier, accompanied by his father, John William David Dozier, class of 1998. Sam Markle, accompanied by his father, David Todd Markle, class of 1989. Charles B. Wheeler, accompanied by his sibling, William Landrum Wheeler, class of 2023. Mark C. Wheeler II, accompanied by his spouse, Dorothy Sarah Young, class of 2018. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Well, congratulations again to all of you. What a tremendous day. Thanks to all the family and friends who could be here with us. You've made this an especially great occasion, so thank you. Sarah Gerwig will now give the benediction. After the benediction, please remain in place until after the recessional. Please rise for the benediction.
As we depart from this place, may the spirit of wisdom guide our path. To the class of 2025, may you leave here not only with knowledge, but with clarity of purpose. Let the law be your instrument for equity, for healing, and for service. May your words carry truth, your actions foster justice, and your presence bring peace. In trying times, may you remember the community that has shaped you, the values that ground you, and have courage for such a time as this. In moments of triumph, may you remain grateful and generous in spirit. May your journey be blessed with meaning and joy. And may your legacy be one of righteousness and compassion. And may we all love justice, love mercy, and walk humbly as we go forth today and for all our days. Amen.